Hello and welcome to Crecganford. Today I'm not going to do an academic video. I'm instead going to give an update on the channel and answer a few questions that were given to me as part of the YouTube community. This is because I've got some issues going on in my personal life, which has meant I've just got no time at the moment to make a video, but hopefully I'll be back to normal in a couple of weeks. So first off, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for everybody who watches, who likes, who subscribe to the Crecganford channel, and especially to those who comment. And I believe one of the best things about this channel is the thoughtful and intelligent comments I get. So many of them positive, and they just influence me to do more, to do better, and influence the videos I make for you to see. So, this channel started off around Old Norse and storytelling, and has gone into the Proto IndoEuropeans because there seems to be, quite an interest on how they are. So thank you for that. But I'm sure we'll float back to other religions and cultures as time goes on. We've got about 150 questions to answer in terms of video format, so I think I should be around for some time to come. In terms of questions that were posed, some of them themselves need videos to answer because they are quite detailed, but I've taken a few of the high-level ones to answer now because they may be of interest to all of you because they're quite generic. So first off, I have a question from Christina Kreitz, and she says, what are some of your favourite authors and sources when researching Proto-Indo-European religion? So I would say there are two authors, or two books I would recommend. One, a generic one, which is Jan Puvel's Comparative Mythology. That's not a particularly expensive book. I think it'd be about £30 or $40. And that goes to a number of the Indo-European cultures and explains their gods, and so you can read the different cultures and compare. It isn't quite the same as seeing a god and seeing that god across those cultures, but it's still very useful nonetheless, and there's some essays at the back about particular aspects of Indo-European religion. The other book I would recommend for the keen researcher, amateur researcher, or someone, an undergraduate, is Bruce Lincoln's Myth, Cosmos and Society. That's a book that starts explaining the Indo-European religion, some of the creation myth, and some of the aspects around the mythology of man being at one with the world and the world being at one with man. So they're probably the two big books, but there are many other books I do recommend if you like archaeology and aspects of Indo-European culture. David Anthony's The Horse, the Wheel and Language is a very good book, really detailed. You will feel like you're an archaeologist who specialises in horse teeth by the end of it, but he also talks about the Indo-European creation myth. I think it's chapter 8, the beginning of chapter 8, and he gives a nod to Lincoln, especially Lincoln's work on the cattle raiding myth. So that follows on, that's more archaeological. There are also books that are sort of quite generic about Proto-Indo-Europeans. You'll just see them, they're quite popular on Amazon, so if you look for Proto-Indo-European, you'll see a couple come up. And they're an okay generic source, but if you really want to understand religion, I say Lincoln will be the place to start, and then just look at who he cites and his references, his bibliography, and then you just dive in there. Then you'll end up with a whole library of books. Next, we have Andrew Awareness, who says, since all Proto-Indo-European culture and religion is modernly reconstructed, how confident are you that this reconstruction's accurate? So it depends on who you use as a reference. To be honest, I am biased towards people like Lincoln and Dumézil. I believe they have done good work in terms of understanding the original creation myth and the mythology and the tripartite system as part of that. I really think that fits nicely, especially when you start to understand aspects like the divine twins, for example. It's clear that the tripartite system is in there, as well as the role of the king and the warrior and the priest. So, and this is why I made the channel. I've taken what I believe are good sources and present them in an unbiased way, such that there is no one particular religion that stands out as benefiting from the way I'm teaching you. So to me, there is accuracy in what I have told you, but there are many aspects of the Indo-European mythology and culture we just do not understand. And if I do speculate, or infer something, I will say so. But there are an awful lot of channels out there, certainly those that are more religious and spiritually focused, that do an awful lot of influence, I should say. And so I don't necessarily take those channels so seriously. So it depends. You can tell if a channel is academic or not by how the videos are presented. Sami Siddiqui says, how is your relationship from Christianity now compared to in your older videos? My relationship with Christianity hasn't changed. Christians as individuals are, I'm sure, as good as any other person generally. The institution of Christianity, especially the Roman Catholic Church, I am less enamoured about, and that's all I will say on that. We have a question from Robert Hamilton. He says, what halotypes are Proto IndoEuropeans? So there's a lot of people interested in the DNA of Indo-Europeans, and it's only recently, like about 5 years ago, that we've fully understood and have now exceptionally little doubt where Proto-Indo-European was spoken, which was around the Black Sea, north of the Black Sea. Now, and we can see how they spread. So we go into Europe, we can see a clear map of different regions having different balances of DNA, from the Western hunter-gatherers, the early European farmers, the Neolithic farmers, and from the Yamnaya culture. So we see those. So the question is, where did the Yamnaya culture come from? And that is a balance between Western hunter-gatherers, Eastern hunter-gatherers, and Central hunter-gatherers. But the problem we have is we don't really understand who this group of Central hunter-gatherers are, where they came from, their culture. At the moment, we don't know. There are people doing a lot of work around that, and I would say there's some work going on with the Crick Institute, which was paused due to the pandemic, because they can do some great DNA analysis, and their work was diverted because of the pandemic to understand the virus. But what they have planned was the analysis of 7,000 bodies, I believe, burials of our ancestors, to get a good understanding of how migrations happened. So look out for that paper when it comes out. That's probably still a couple of years away, but that will be very interesting. We next have Dos, who says, am I a pagan, and if so, what kind? I dislike the term pagan and heathen. I feel they're quite derogatory terms, or came from derogatory terms from Christianity. I prefer a term of traditional religion. And so, am I a traditional religionist? No, not in a sense that I follow a god, because it's very clear from the teachings, I say, that there are no gods in the sense that the stories are man-made. You can see stories develop and God's names changes. And so to follow any one of those means you're following a man-made construct, and that doesn't feel right. However, what I would say is that I am enamoured by the Proto-Indo-European belief of man being at one with the world and the world being one with man, in the sense that we should be careful of what we take from this planet and make sure we take back. Now, I'm not saying I'm a tree-loving hippie kind of character, but I do feel that man is just currently taking from the planet, and it isn't going to end particularly well. And by the time we realise it's not going to end particularly well, it's probably going to be too late to do anything about it for probably 10,000 years plus. So not a good place to be, and that's why people sort of move away and get some peace in the countryside, which leads me to the final question by Michael Classen, who says, what could we legally do to help us or the world return to a more traditional way of life? And I don't think we can do anything, Michael. I think we can act as individuals, but to do things as a planet, I think is too late. It's too late. If you could ban Christianity, ban religions perhaps, and be focused on a particular mindset of becoming ecologically balanced, that would help the world, and that would help us find ways to be more traditional, I'm sure. As I say, our Proto-Indo-European ancestors were very much that if they take from the world, they have to give back to replenish. the cosmos. So yeah, it's not looking good really. So sorry if I haven't got a better answer. And with that, they're all the simple questions. I say there were some really good questions, but require a lot more time, and I just don't have that at the moment to answer. So I will make videos for those in the coming weeks, months, and hopefully years, providing you guys like what I do and continue to watch and comment. I will continue to make videos. So on that note, thanks for all the support. It does mean a lot, especially for those who know what has been going on. So it just means a lot. And thank you for all your comments and being part of a really fantastic community. I just really appreciate all you do. And I think this channel is slightly different to most because I really do try and read as many comments as possible and try and reply to as many as possible. And I hope that makes a difference for you as well to watch this. So with that, I'll say, please stay safe. Please take care. And this was Crecganford.